Previously on Get Out Go. We started off this trip at Moremi Bush Camps, had a great stopover at Kama, and we're currently exploring Pell's Island just outside the Moremi. Good morning. We're having a great stay. It's like I mentioned, very different to our usual camping. I think if you want to break from bush camping and you just want to relax, this is a great place to come to. The chalets are beautiful. The views are great. It is very hot. It is December after all. It's been averaging in the sort of high 30s, mid 40s. So yeah, yesterday was especially, we were cooking. The bird life is phenomenal. We saw some kudu, some giraffe. There were buffalo tracks through the campsite, so just be careful of those. I think you missed it too.
I think I need to go to that side. Well, we managed to see the Pels late last night. Wasn't a good view, but at least we caught a glimpse of it. Ooh, kingfisher just caught something there.
Yeah, like I said, the bird life is stunning. So Pell's Island is obviously named after the Pell's fishing owl. There's one breeding pair right here by the camp. They actually roost near the shallows, so keep an eye out for them. So after Pell's, we'll head back to Maun to restock, refuel, and then on to South Gate, which we've been to before.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, 2010. Oh, here's some elephants. Let me show you the elephants first. And then on to Xakanaxa. So yeah, much to come still. So we're trying a little something different tonight. Vanessa's making some biryani in the Dutch oven. So all the aunties, don't judge. Let's see how this comes out. We just left Pell's Island and we are on our way back to Maun just to refuel and restock. We had a hectic storm last night, but just wind and thunder, no rain. So I don't know what's holding back the rain. It's still fairly hot this morning, even still. It's very humid. So yeah, if you're coming in summer months, be prepared for heat. What did you think about Pell's Island?
Oh, it was a good stay. Totally different than what we're used to. And not a good change, definitely. And now we're on to our next adventure in our car house.
Yeah, so after refueling and restocking at Maun, we will be heading to Southgate. That's usually the first stop in the Moremi. And after that, we'll be heading to Xakanaxa. And then we've got a few more stops to come. It's about an hour's drive back to Maun. And then another 2 hours to Southgate. Then we head on to Third Bridge and Xakanaxa.
What a day, my heart is full of butterflies. There's no disguising how I feel whenever I'm with you. I've waited till the moment's right to look into those starry eyes and say the words that I'm thinking all the time.
we just signed into the Moremi. We just signed in at South Gate, which is usually the entry or exit into the Moremi. We saw lots and lots of game before getting into the gate, actually. We're on a game drive now. We haven't seen much. A lot of the waterholes are dry. It's been a particularly dry year. We were just sort of reminiscing when we were first year together. That's 14 years ago.
Yes, we were here with my cousin, and it was very wet. We actually got stuck once, but that was at Kubu Island, not at Moremi. And Moremi, we couldn't drive. This is the furthest we actually drove now. We couldn't drive up because the roads were so wet. And yeah, I think later on we'll tell you some stories of what happened during the stay.
Yeah, it was an absolute mud fest, safe to say. We had some interesting things happen. We'll share that with you with a nice campfire story and some photos we have. Right now we're sort of going to drive towards Kwai. We won't be doing Kwai this time. I think we'll probably come back to do, start at Southgate again, Third Bridge, Xakanaxa, Kwai, Savuti, Chobe. And we'll obviously bring you along for that as well. So, how does it feel to be back at South Camp in the Moremi after all these years?
Drier, much drier. It was very wet. All of Botswana was wet. It was like you said, a camel trophy experience. We didn't drive that far. We never made it to Xakanaxa because it was too wet. It was like the car was a bit of a submarine going through the water ditches. And so we kind of abandoned that plan. And then the one day we traveled the road to see if we can see any animals. And as we came around the corner,
yeah, we met 5 Russian guys down to their underwear, knee deep in mud, stuck with, I think it was one of those Mitsubishi Delicas or Delicas, however you pronounce that. It's a little 4x4 bus, and they were stuck right up to the soles. And there was a guy with like this little tow rope saying, "Help me please." And I'm like, "No guy, that's not going to help." So we managed to, I did have a kinetic rope and a bridle, so I hooked it up to the factory recovery points, which I usually don't recommend, but we had no other choice. Just slowly pulled them out of there. And in the process, Vanessa's cousin Quintus was with, and his car stopped completely. Now, it was a petrol, so first thing we thought, the spark plugs maybe got wet because it was literally bonnet high water in places. And no, his aftermarket immobilizer decided to permanently immobilize the car. So he literally had to strip the whole dash, find the 4 spots that it terminates and bypass all of that. I think that we were stuck there for like 4 hours.
Yeah, we were there for a very long time.
Just to put it in perspective, Botswana, I think on average gets about 200 millimeters worth of rainfall a year. In that first 2 days we were here, we had like 300 millimeters of rain.
It was
so
crazy.
Just water everywhere. It does look a little bit different. I was here, I think, 3 or 4 years ago with Overlanding Escape, where we shot that ultimate African adventure. I'd say South Camp is a good stopover if you've got timing issues. I wouldn't come here as a destination. It's okay, but it's not great. I must say, everything that's managed by SKL, by Kumai, it's really nice. Kualate, I'm sorry guys, you still have some work to do. These bathrooms especially need some TLC, and that seems to be the case everywhere, where Kumai and SKL, really, really good. We saw lots of game coming in before the gate. There seems to be lots of water, not a lot here, and we haven't seen anything on this game drive.
No, nothing inside, but coming in we saw quite a bit, but there's a lot of water next to the road coming in. I think South Camp was also a first encounter with spotted hyena. We'll take a shot of it, but we actually camped on that side, and as I went to the bathroom with my cousin's wife, walked to the bathroom, the spotted hyena walked in, and I turned around and I said to Chris, what is that? And he's like, just turn around and walk back slowly. But some of us did not walk back slowly. Some of us leave people behind, and you know who you are, I'm talking about you, just ran and left me. And I'm standing here with this spotted hyena walking slowly back, but it was quite an interesting experience.
Yeah, for the record, if you haven't heard me say this before, you'll hear me say this again many times. Never run.
Don't run.
Nicolene. The first night we had this one sort of spotted hyena hanging around here. The second night we saw sort of 2, 3. The third night there was about 15 of them, and then they are just unstoppable. They get very brave. You have to be very careful of those. They were overturning dustbins and just making all sorts of havoc in here.
And you don't see them. They walk right past you and you don't even see them. They're so quiet.
Yeah,
so be very careful.
Yeah, it's this might seem demure, but it's still very wild. We've had leopard around here before. There's definitely lots of elephants, so do be careful, but it's still a good experience. And I think this is still a good stopover. As you're getting into the Moremi or leaving the Moremi, sometimes it's difficult with timing. Always leave enough time with Botswana, or most of rural Africa for that matter. Things go wrong and timing doesn't always work out like you planned. Then have some contingency, just some place where you can stay over. Never drive at night if you can help it. It's just really unsafe with livestock, wildlife on the roads, not so great drivers sometimes. So yeah, I'd rather just sleep over. I think for that, this is pretty nice actually.
Yeah.
So I think we'll leave you here for now. We'll probably see what we can muster up around the fire there, take you along for that, then just take it easy, and tomorrow we're off to Xakanaxa. My favorite campsites are from number 8 to 10. These are spacious but quite far from the bathrooms. Remember, all these camps are unfenced.
We joined later in the evening by Denzel and Johan. It was great meeting you guys.
Good morning. Off to a very rainy day today. We had a little bit of rain last night, which is most welcome, and did bring down the temperatures a bit. Southgate is kind of so as far as camp goes, but we did meet Denzel and Johan that's traveling with us now. It's always nice to meet new people, like-minded folks, and that's one of the, I'd say, one of the key benefits of overlanding is you do find a lot of like-minded folks. We decided they're going to Kwai via Third Bridge, so we're going to go to Xakanaxa via Third Bridge as well. What did you think of Southgate after 14 years?
I heard one ahina. It was good to hear that. But I do think they can take a little bit care around the camps. That was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it's
on the bathroom side, it's very dirty.
Yeah, it's not like we're moaning, but being in the Moremi and the Chobe especially is super expensive. And you know, SKL do a really good job of it. Kumai do a really good job of it. So Kualate, I'm sorry to say, you guys got to lift your game.
Nevertheless, we're happy to be headed deeper into the Moremi.
Welcome to Third Bridge. We're not actually staying here. We'll definitely come back for that though, with another trip I have planned. Just note to yourself and you, this is MT5. This is campsite number 5 at Third Bridge. And this is a sausage fruit tree. If you're not familiar with this, there's actually a few of them here. If one of these fruits fall, let me just move, fall on your head, this can actually kill you. It's that hard and heavy. So I don't recommend camping at campsite number 5.
The campsites here are really nice otherwise. It's time to say goodbye to Denzel and Johan and head to Xakanaxa. This is the actual bridge that gives Third Bridge its name. It washed away completely about 2 years ago and was subsequently rebuilt. The sign says a maximum of 5 tons, but it was moaning and groaning just under my car's 3-ton weight.
Morning. So we got campsite 6 at Xakanaxa. It's not the greatest, but it's close to the ablutions. So I'll show you some of the other campsites. They're really nice, but note that a lot of them are far from the ablutions. Do not, especially at night, walk to the ablutions, please. There has been a leopard attack there previously. So just don't walk to the ablutions at night. Drive there or have a portaloo that you can then empty into the toilets or whatever you. Definitely don't walk at night. Otherwise, really, really nice. I actually wish we had more time here. We will definitely do another trip that will probably do Xakanaxa, Third Bridge, then maybe up to Mohoto or Savuti, and then Chobe. So definitely look out for that. It's our last day in the Moremi, unfortunately. We didn't have much time this time. I think, like I said, another trip's in order. What do you think?
Yes. I'd skip Southgate and go straight to Third Bridge and come to Xakanaxa. These are beautiful sights. It just feels very wild, very open. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's Southgate need quality. Like I said, guys, it needs work. If you time it right, I'd rather stay at somewhere like Sitatunga near Maun, and then drive from there up to Xakanaxa or Third Bridge. Even Kwai is doable from there. I'd skip Southgate for the moment. Speaking of Sitatunga, that's where we're headed tomorrow. Then we'll go back to Kama and I'll show you some scenes like I promised. And then Old Faithful, Matamba Bush Camp. So stick around for that. So we just moved campsites. Campsite 5 just became available and it's much better than 6. So can't really recommend 6 unless you want to be right next to the ablution. Isn't a lot of shade there, where all the others are very nice, very shaded. It's lots of space. So let me show you around the rest of the campsites.
I actually like all the campsites here aside from number 6. You're right by the river as well, albeit it's a bit obscured by the grass and reeds. This camp is also managed by Qualate, so the bathrooms need some work. Hot water is provided by solar, so it's usually only hot in the afternoon and evening. We're basically taking it easy today, just sticking around camp.
So we're heading out of the Moremi, going back to Southgate and then Maun. We didn't get much of that storm last night after all. Much ado about nothing. It is cloudy now. I can see it's raining a bit further in the distance, so We just missed it. That would have cooled things down very nicely. It's been very hot, and there's lots and lots of flies for some reason. I don't know, more than usual. So that's been absolute fun. And we just had to break for a squirrel with a death wish.
Not want to kill a squirrel.
Yeah, keep your speeds down. We usually, I think the maximum speed limit is 40, but we don't even get to that. And some of the roads you can't get to that even if you wanted to, unless you're crazy. So what did you think about Xakanaxa?
Yes, I want to go back there. I love the camping sites, the way they've set it up. It's beautiful there. We saw a hippo last night with a baby coming out to graze. We heard lions. We missed them though, but I like Xakanaxa.
Yeah, it's luck of the draw with game viewing. It's like we didn't see any lions this time. We heard them twice, so it's always a good excuse to come back. We definitely, like I said, like to do, I think, Third Bridge, Xakanaxa, Kauai, Savuti, and then Chobe. Do that loop, or the other way around. Right now, like I said, let's see if we find anything on the way to Southgate. And then on to Sitatunga Camp.
Put your lips on mine. I love it when we hide in the pale blue sky, floating on cloud nine. Do you feel the winds are turning round? 'Cause what goes up must always come back down. I'll be safe in your arms, like the light in the day never part. I'm looking down the line. With you by my side, I'll be fine. Come back down to earth. It's just as good as up there. I'm gonna keep you near, 'cause you're all I need, my dear. Do you feel the winds are turning round? 'Cause what goes up must always come back down. But I'll be safe in your arms.
Sitatunga is a great stopover camp. We also get a visit from our friend Yaku and a lot of viewers from the channel as well, which is always great. Vanessa is also putting together another great pot bread. You can find the recipe in the description.
So for the record, we forgot this is a much bigger potjie, so it looks a bit small, right? So we're just going to make some more bread.
Actually, yeah.
Welcome to a very wet Moan. We stayed at Sitatunga last night. We had lots of viewers show up and say hi. I really appreciate you guys saying hi. It's always awesome to meet viewers. We also had Yaku come for a visit. And the rain started last night and hasn't stopped. So everything's a little bit wet, us included. I couldn't show you too much of Sitatunga because of the rain, but anyways, there are some shots. What did you think?
Sitatunga is a good stopover. I did prefer the private stands over the public stands. That was good. And it was a nice visit with Yaku.
Yeah, so there's shared ablution campsites and then private bathroom campsites. I suggest taking the private ones. They're a little bit more expensive, like there's 100 pula or something more. But it's worth it because they get a lot of big overlanding truck guests. So those are, I think there was like 60 people last night. So those bathrooms, I think, get a bit overwhelmed. I wouldn't say it's a destination, but it's a very good stopover. It's very close to Moan, but it's far enough out of town so you don't hear any of the noises of town or anything bad. So we are on our way to Gama Rhino Sanctuary. Weather permitting, this time I'll be able to show you around a bit more.
It's a long drive today, but thankfully it's a lot cooler.
We had quite a bit of rain last night. As you can see, everything's wet, which is much needed. The rain's been very late this year, and it's cooled down finally as well, because we've had some very hot days. We're about to hit the road. We'll go through the Stockpoort border post, not Martinsdrift / Groblersbrug again. And then we're going to one of my favorite places, Matamba Bush Camp. So come along. Still some sights to see, and I'll show you around Matamba as well. We finally got a jet boil, succumbed to that. If you have one, let me know. If I recall, these things used to tell you when they're about to boil, where the color would change, and it had an igniter. Now all of that's gone, and this feels very flimsy, I must be honest. Yet it's 2,700 bucks. So at this stage, yeah, I wouldn't recommend one of these. So we're back at one of our favorite spots on one of the newer camps, Weaver, at Matamba Bush Camp. A lot of times we start trips from here, and sometimes, like now, we end trips here, and sometimes we just come here because we really enjoy it. So I can highly recommend it. So what did you think about this trip?
Oh, it was good. It was good going back to Southgate and experiencing it after 14 years and everything that happened. So I'm kind of keen to go through some archive photos and just relive it. But it was good, and I loved Xakanaxa a lot actually. I want to go back there and spend more time there, and at Third Bridge. So spend a bit more time there on the top side.
Yeah, I think a lot of people often ask us, like, why do you go to Botswana so often? Well, it's like you can go there a million times and still see new things, and just even if you relive it, it's just an amazing place. I definitely think, and let us know in the comments what you think, but I think it trips on the cards for sort of Southgate, Xakanaxa, Third Bridge, Kwai, Savuti, Chobe, something like that.
Yeah,
or the other way around to change it up a bit. So do let us know what you think. The weather's been kind today and yesterday. Finally got some much needed rain, and it's cooled down quite a bit.
Yeah, it was very hot.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Join us next time as we go north to south in Kruger National Park with some historical insights that go with that, both our own personal and something out of like the 40s and 50s and 60s. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It does make a difference. Until next time, get out there.